It is harder to describe inequality in American English. That makes it easier to live with.
Yeah, Americans throughout history have taken the class divide really easily. This is part 2 of waiting for a single reputable source in that 10-minute video, this time featuring Dusty.
American English sounds clear on purpose, but that does not make it neutral.
Whether someone's speech sounds clear or not is entirely subjective. I use certain phonetics and phonology, you use different ones. Whatever you're used to is gonna sound clear to you. I used to think none of Spanish sounded clear. They all speak way too fast for me, but now I'm fluent and it does sound clear, except for Chileans. American media is everywhere. Pretty much everybody who speaks English and even many people who don't speak English are exposed to American media. They're just used to it. And even then, there are many American accents that many people would not describe as clear.
After the revolution, the new elite wanted a language that did not remind them of British aristocracy.
This country was founded with the right to own slaves and the right to vote only for landowning white men. Aristocracy is very much alive and visible to the public.
They needed one that would serve capital. And that is what Americans grew up learning.
About a quarter to a third of Americans did not even have English as their first language. About 15% of US citizens today weren't even born in this country.
British English makes class distinct. You can tell where somebody grew up here based on their dialect.
You can do that with literally any dialect of any language. Maybe you're not very good at telling apart American dialects, but Americans can. Now, I will agree that for the geographic size and population, UK dialects do have a lot more distinctions, but that's because they've been speaking English since it was Old English. They've been diverging within Britain for a very long time, whereas English as a language has only been in America for a few hundred years compared to at least 1,000 for Britain.
American English aimed to erase class distinctions in speech while preserving them in capital.
Still no.
They needed to standardize a common tongue across all of these colonies, expanding frontier and immigrant populations.
Well, then I guess they did a pretty bad job at it, considering there's more Spanish speakers than Spain and over 100 indigenous languages still spoken. Not to mention millions of speakers of a third most common language. And even the capital of capital, New York City, has like 800 different languages being spoken. Yes, the US has had periods with lots of assimilation policies, and many languages were lost, but it wasn't to hide a class divide. In many ways, it enforced a class divide. There are literal reservations where Native Americans were forced to move while also being forced to speak English.
But also, the language needed to support clear property instructions, emerging financial instruments, and enforceable legal terms.
Does British English not have enforceable legal terms and financial words? I'm still only a minute and a half into the 9.5-minute video, so stay tuned for part 3.